Hello, everyone. It is Sweet Lips and Sledge. Yeah, we just finished talking to you guys about relationships and how money cannot buy love. Love. No, that's something that's reciprocated. That's something that you know what I mean. You come together, and it's something that you share. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like there's no price. I think you know what I want to say is a lot of people that um and it really is not even buying love because they're in Hollywood. I think it's called Yachting, where you pay these girls, these women, and I guess uh guys or whatever, the woman's paying them um, to, I guess, do a service for a period of time. I guess that's when you just buying love. I don't know, but that's different. But when you're looking for a relationship, um, you just
Or you can look for a relationship, and some people are so desperate for companionship that they get into a relationship with someone because they don't want to be received as, well, if I'm not with someone, I don't want to be like, everybody got to have someone, and you get in a relationship and you thinking someone loves you, and the meanwhile they really truly don't.
right,
And you overlook that because you want to be with that person that bad because you want to be in a relationship that bad.
right. So this is what it's called. It's actually called yachting, and it says a yacht girl is a term for an attractive woman who exchanges sexual favors for money, influence, or job positions, and they will pay $3,000 to $5,000 a month or whatever. That's different. These people are not looking for
Jesus
love.
Christ.
Right. I'm gonna take my
Wow.
old self out.
I mean, wow. Whoa.
Empty house.
Wow.
But they're not looking for love. Those are people or just they're not looking for anything steady. Really, they're just
Yep.
enjoying their lives, and
Yeah.
not that it makes it right. I
Yeah.
mean, but who are we to say that it does not make
Yeah.
it right?
Yeah. Who are we to
Um,
judge? Yeah.
um, but again, when you are in a relationship with someone, and if you do happen to meet one of those girls, you don't need to complain about them. And if you know what they were
Yeah.
doing in the
Exactly. Yeah.
beginning
You
and
know
you
what you're
was fine
getting. You
with
know
it,
what you're getting.
and you spending money with them, then you close your
Yeah.
mouth.
It's one thing you know what you're getting. Don't
Exactly.
complain about it now. It's like, nope, nope, no.
Exactly. But when it comes in relationships, and there are things, and normally we have our topic, and then I try to do a little research on it. And there's this guy, and I just want to share this with you. And his name is Mark Mason, and he gives 6 healthy relationship habits most people think are toxic. Okay, most people think that these are toxic. Um, So I'm just going to read an insert. It says, but I think it helped a lot of people since writing it. I received staggering numbers of thank you emails, and around 2 dozen people told me that it had inspired them to end a relationship, or even in a few cases, a marriage. It seems like there are people that's accepting this here message that he has. And so let me just give you a couple of them. It says, letting some conflict go unresolved. And I think that would be a problem if you just let it go unresolved. But then he's saying, let it go. Um, Let me just say, let's read his thin slicing process boasted a staggering 91% success rate in predicting whether newlywed couples will divorce within 10 years, a staggeringly high result of any psychological research. Um, Gottman seminars are also reported a 50% higher success rate of saving troubled marriages than traditional marriage counseling, so he must have an idea about something.
Mm.
The idea that couples must communicate and resolve all of their problems is a myth, which makes sense. I mean, because
you
every
can't solve
battle is
everything.
not
Yeah,
a battle. You know what I mean?
you're
Just
not
the
gonna
ones
solve
that's in the important ones.
You're not going to solve everything. No way. I agree with that.
It says in his research of thousands of happily married couples, some whom have been married for 40 plus years, he repeatedly found that most successful couples have persistent unresolved issues that they sometimes been fighting about for decades. Meanwhile, many of the unsuccessful couples insist on resolving every F word, everything, because they believe that they should never be a disagreement between them. Pretty soon, there was a void of relationship too. Yeah, I believe that you can resolve
and you won't have disagreements. I mean,
right.
yeah,
you resolve the more important ones,
yes,
the ones that's important.
Exactly. That's basically saying that you're looking for a perfect person. There ain't no perfect person. Ain't no perfect marriage, no perfect relationship. It's not gonna happen.
Right. And this is what he says. Sometimes trying to resolve a conflict can create more problems than it fixes. Some battles are simply not worth fighting. And sometimes the most optimal relationship strategy is the one of live and let live. So, yeah. She's just checking on us. I'll tell you, that child of mine.
She's like, gotta go.
So the second one is saying being willing to hurt each other's feelings. Let's just read this one. This one said be willing to hurt each other's feelings. Okay, let's look at the example. My wife spends a lot of time in front of the mirror because she cares about how she looks. Nights before we go out, she often comes out of the bathroom after an hour-long makeup and hair cologne. That's just the one. Men do it too.
I don't.
She's usually, so I do. She's usually gorgeous, but every once in a while, she tries to do something new with her hair or is wearing a pair of boots that some flamboyant fashion designer from Milan thought, oh, it doesn't work. Okay, let's see what his problem or how he. Men often lie in this situation to make their girlfriend wives happy, but I don't. Why? Because honesty is in my relationship and is more important to me than feeling good all the time. The last person I should ever have to censor myself with is the woman I love. I think that's true. You should not have to censor yourself.
Well, but all depends. I mean, sometimes, man or woman, let me say that, or sister pledge, get on me. Sometimes they can't handle the truth. They take it personal.
Yeah.
And that's the thing when sometimes you just have to, okay, yeah, whatever. Or you overlook it because, they're going to take it personal.
Right. It says when our highest priority is to always make ourselves feel good or to always make our partner feel good, then more often than not, nobody ends up feeling good and our relationship fall apart without us even knowing it. It is important to make something more important in your relationship than merely making each other feel good all the time. The feeling good, the sunset, and the puppies, they happen when you get the important stuff figured out, values, need, and trust. I think that's right. When you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me. If I feel smothered and want more time alone, I need to be capable of saying that without blaming her. And she needs to be capable of hearing it without blaming me.
Exactly.
Despite the unpleasant feeling it may cause. If she feels that I am cold and unresponsive to her, she needs to be capable of saying it without blaming me. And I need to be capable of hearing it without blaming her, despite the unpleasant feeling it may generate. And that's what you were saying earlier in the relationship. If you're trying to show somebody love and then they're not reciprocating it back, that just brings about a problem. So look at that point from those. Don't look at that. Don't run on sweet lips. Know what he's talking about. And the third one is being willing to end it. Ooh, okay, let's see what he says here. The truth is, our standards for what a successful relationship should be are pretty screwed up. If a relationship ends and someone's not dead, when we view it as a failure, regardless of the emotional or practical circumstances present in a person's life. And that's kind of insane. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a failure, it just didn't happen.
Yeah, yeah.
And you just have to move on. Let me say, sometimes the only thing that can make a relationship successful is ending it at the necessary time before it becomes too damaging. And the willingness to do that allows us to establish the necessary boundaries to help ourselves and our partners grow together.
There you go.
I agree.
That's what you said. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes it's time to go.
Sometimes it's time to go. It's time to get that broom, sweep it on out.
Yeah.
Boop, boop, boop. It's done. It's over. Finito.
Because
It's not
honesty,
over.
I can always say when someone's honest with you, it can make things better because then you can improve on something.
Exactly.
I can improve if you're being honest with me. Evidently, you're telling me something because you want me to improve on something. Do you know what I mean? So I can improve on it. But to lie to me and mislead me, then that's not helping none. That's not going to help none at all.
Right. The fourth one is feeling attraction for people outside the relationship. Now, child, we want to read about this because how you attracted to somebody outside of your relationship. Let's see what he say. What he say? Open your mouth. What you say?
It happens.
As much as we like to believe that we only have eyes for our partner, biologically says otherwise. Once we get past the honeymoon phase of the starry eyes, the novelty of our partner can wear off a bit, right? And unfortunately, human sexuality is partially wired around novelty. I get emails all the time from people in happy marriages, relationships who get blindsided by finding someone else attractive and they feel like horrible people because of it. But the truth is, not only are we capable of finding multiple people attractive and interesting at the same time, it's biological inevitable. And I think that's when you see you people that look, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That looks
men and women, yeah,
better than what you. It looks, you know what I mean? It looks better than what you have at home, but what makes it wrong is when you go pursue it outside of home. You can look all day. You know, I've seen a couple of nice looking hunks out there on basketball court,
and
football
and that
court.
depends on the relationship too, because you have someone that's uncomfortable, like you see all the time. A man take a look, someone mind the woman talking about you. You better not even turn your head and look that way. It's like, oh, okay, and vice versa. It's like, I mean, just because I look don't mean nothing.
Right. It says this triggers a lot of guilt in some people and a lot of irrational jealousy in others. Our culture scripts tells us that once we're in love, that's supposed to be the end of the story. And if someone flirts with us and we enjoy it, or if we catch ourselves having an occasional errant sexy time fantasy, there must be something wrong with our relationships. I don't think there's got to be something wrong with the relationship. I mean, it's just that you just been with that forever and a day, and you know, you just happen to look like, dang, I'm doing this. Those things out there.
That's why I always say, and I do agree with spicing things up in a relationship.
Exactly.
You got to spice things up in a relationship. I mean, come on, nobody say you got to do tricks and hang from the ceiling, but you got to spice things up because this keeps you and her interested all the time. You got to spice things up. You know, we have a tendency, men and women, when we get with someone, okay, that's good enough for me. You know what I mean? Hey, they ain't going nowhere.
Know,
stop. It's like, no, you should never think that way.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, nobody say you got to be looking fly or but spice things up every night. Sure, sometimes it's just in what you say or how or what you do that makes things sexy. It's like that's what it's all about.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. He says people who suppress these urges are often the ones who eventually succumb to them and suddenly find themselves screwing the secretary in the broom closet or having no idea how they got there and come to deeply regret it about 22 seconds later. So there, I think that's right. I agree with him there. And while I appreciate the attention or even flirtation, the experience only strengthens my commitment, attractiveness, and everywhere. Real intimacy is not. So sometimes you do. This right here to me is a big part, and this plays a big part to me in my marriage, because I cannot be with someone and I feel like every second of the day they're sitting on my shoulders.
Yeah.
Spending time apart. That is a big yes for me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have to. When we fall in love, we develop irrational beliefs and desires. One of these desires is to allow our lives to be consumed by the person with whom we're infatuated. This feels great. It is intoxicating much of the time, while much is the same way cocaine is intoxicating. The problem only arises when the desires become reality. The problem with allowing your identity to be consumed by a romantic relationship is that you change to be closer to the person you love. You cease to the person that you fell in love with in the first place. It is important to occasionally get some distance from your partner, assert your independence, maintain some hobbies or interests that are yours alone. Have some separate friends. Take an occasional trip somewhere by yourself. Remember what you made. Remember what made you you and what drew you to your partner in the first place. Without this oxygen to breathe, the fire between you two will die out, and what were once were sparks will become friction. So I believe in that. I believe that you have to have that time where you can just get away and you can just think, you can just be yourself. Like that alone time, that's very important. Yeah, that's very important. I cannot be with a person that will not give me and you know what Jerry and I had to come to an agreement. That's why, I always say, on certain days, like now, like, okay, you have your long time, then give my long time. And then, we come back together, then we kind of enjoy each other. But you just have to have that.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, that going together. Oh my goodness. Accepting your partner's flaws. In this novel, The Unbearable Likeliness of Being, Milan says that there are two types of womanizers. One, men who are looking for the perfect woman and can never find her. And two, men who convince themselves that every woman they meet is already perfect. It says, this is the one thing that's not nearly as complacent as it appears. Let's break it down. The first one, every person has flaws and imperfections. I agree with that to the fullest. Two, you can't ever force a person to change. I agree.
Yeah.
You can ask them to, but you
Yeah.
cannot force them to change.
Yeah, you're right.
The third one, therefore, you must date someone who has flaws you can live with or even appreciate. That right there, I believe, because we all have some type of flaws. It's embedded in us. We're born with them. It says one of the best and earliest expression of this idea came from Plato in the form of a myth. Plato wrote that humans were originally androgynous. Can't pronounce that word. They felt no lack, no uncertainty, and they were powerful, so powerful that they rose up and challenged the gods themselves. This posed a problem for the gods. They didn't want to completely wipe out the human race as they had no one to rule over, but they also had to do something to humble and distract humanity. This is going on into Zeus, and I can't even get there. But I believe that, there are people who come with flaws because we're all born with flaws. And some of us, we never shake. We can never shake the flaws that, and really, I want to say the flaws that was, they're given to us.
And that's the key about, I say that when people try to be perfect, you're not perfect. Try not to make any mistakes. You're going to make a mistake. It's part of life. No one is perfect. No one whatsoever.
That's right.
Well, if I don't do this is not. No one's perfect. And I agree with that little segment. He said that there comes a time where certain things you try to restrain from, it's going to happen anyway. It's
Right.
going to happen because you're busy trying to like, oh no,
Exactly.
I wouldn't. No,
Exactly.
this is what it is. That don't mean that it has to turn into something bad. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like you're trying to be perfect when you're not.
Exactly. Exactly. And then the sad part about it is when we get into a habit of pointing out somebody else's imperfections instead of working on our own. And when somebody bring it to us, now all of a sudden we don't understand what they're talking about, and we mad.
Sweet little thing in a minute. Ain't nothing perfect about me.
Right.
I got cracks everywhere. You know my mind. You know what? I got cracks.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, nah, ain't nobody perfect. It's like, nah. That's why I don't even believe in that crap. Anybody tell me, oh no, because I would never. Yeah, okay, right, okay. You ain't God, so I ain't believe in that one.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, guys, that was our take. That is our research on love and relationships. Okay. So it is, I dare say Gail. Yeah, it is Gail Melvin, Sister Sledge, and Sweet Lips coming to you, sharing this with you, hoping that you are getting something out of it. And
yes, we hope so.
And you know what? And thank you for
and it's our
the
opinion.
engagement.
Our opinion.
Right, right. We are.
We don't want y'all out there talking about, oh, sure, they talking about that ain't me.
Right.
You go ahead and keep thinking that.
Right, right.
We already know our opinion, but ain't no one perfect. So keep trying to be perfect. So,
And you know, it's funny when I looked at something else, it says, be honest about your own flaws and shortcomings. No,
yeah,
we on something.
Yeah, you see, there you go.
We on something.
You know what I mean? I know my flaws and shortcomings.
Yeah. And I know mine too, and don't you worry about them, no.
Yeah. Sure, I ain't ashamed about none of them. This is who I am. You know what I mean? That's it.
Right. Love can be a beautiful thing when you are open and honest to one another. Mm-hmm. Love can be beautiful. You hear me?
And don't be cheating on the love.
Yeah, don't be cheating on the love. Let me tell you something.
Equal.
Yeah. Don't
if you can't do it, then say so.
Exactly. No, if you can't do it, then accept the fact that you need to be by yourself. You need to be by yourself. Do not drag someone into your drama. That's the whole thing. If you have baggage, get rid of your baggage. Then you go into a fresh relationship because you already know from the past relationships what you need to work on. Yeah. Don't keep going from relationship to the relationship, failing, and act like you don't know why. Well, you don't know why because you never gave yourself time to learn yourself.
Or you never even put that full. You tell someone you love them, you didn't put that full, gave them that where that they feel that you love them just as much. So you figure if you cheated them, you cheated yourself. And in the next relationship, you're going to do the same thing again anyway. You're going to wind up doing the same thing again.
What my brother said.
Yeah, that's what my brother said. I mean, come on.
This is why this here segment of To The Point, let's talk about it. You have a woman's point of view and you have a man's point of view, okay? So we're giving it to you from both sides. Yep. It's not a one-sided thing. Nope. It is coming from both sides. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. We shall see you soon. And again,
love you.
Love is love, and love does not cost, okay? I mean, it costs once you get into too deep into it because you have to survive.
Yeah.
But initially, you cannot. Yeah, right. You can't buy love. You know what I mean? Unless you out there yachting.